Episode 16 of Dragon Ball Daima begins to prepare us for the end of the series. But I have to say, I feel real bad for anybody who was a big fan of the Gendarmerie Force after this one. Yeah, pretty much right after the episode starts, Goku and the gang run into the Ginyu Force ripoffs, who then tell them that they're not going to be progressing any further. But Vegeta decides to step up and take them on, but it's not long into this fight, if you can call it that we see that he's just way too strong for this group. And funny enough, just when we see one of them seems to pack a little bit of a punch, some friendly fire takes the entire group out. So Gomah's last line of defense here has been completely decimated. These guys were nothing but jokes. That does frustrate me a little bit because they took a whole episode to introduce these guys and show them interacting with the Majin brothers, only for them to just not really mean anything. At least when the Ginyu Force showed up on Namek, they made a statement immediately by going after Gohan, Krillin, and Vegeta, and not to mention that Zarbon was terrified of them when Frieza said he's gonna send for them. The Ginyu at the time could back up their smack talk. These guys couldn't, so that's the real difference between them. But now that those guys are finally out of the way, Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Shin decide to go on ahead and try to find Dende. Goku's actually able to sense that Dende's key is nearby, so they rush on ahead, completely oblivious to the fact that Ponzi is following them. Eventually they do find Dende, but he's in the arms of Degesu, who's decided to take him hostage and is making his move to flee the palace. It's here Shin confronts his brother, and we find out that Degesu was actually planning to stab Gomah in the back because he wants to be the Supreme Demon King too. So that now brings us up to a total of 4 different characters fighting over the title of Supreme King of the Demon Realm, and I actually like that. I like that there's more than one group who's fighting over this thing. So now Degesu has turned on Gomah, he's gotta get out of there, and he's taking Dende with him, holding a gun to his head the whole time, like he's gonna shoot this baby? But lucky for Dende, Ponzi decides to launch a sneak attack against Degesu. Unfortunately, it fails. But that opens the door for Glorio's secret attack, and this one is actually successful. Dende is rescued, and Degesu is in custody, taken away by King Cotton's soldiers. Everything seems to be going pretty well for them so far. Meanwhile, the woman we saw in the last episode trade her hat for Hybus's belt with the evil third eye on it has arrived in Gomah's palace and is looking to get paid before she leaves. There was some speculation as to whether or not this woman was Degesu in disguise, but turns out she's not. He just hired her to go find the eye. She eventually does find her way to Gomah's throne room, and she gives him the belt, and he is just over the moon that he's finally got this ultimate power in his hand. But it's not as easy as Gomah thinks, because he's got to get the eye out of the belt before he can use it. He used everything he could possibly use, from wrenches to spoons, trying to get this eye out, and what did the trick was a toilet plunger of all things. Then he asks the woman who brought the eye to him to help him put it into his forehead, and after a few tries, it finally takes, and he gets a power-up. Now, this tiny little imp of a guy who was running around calling himself the Supreme Demon King has muscles that would put Jiren to shame. And as his power grows, we see Dr. Arensu and the Majin brothers confront Goku and the rest of his friends in the courtyard of the Tamagami. And that's where the episode ends, with the tease of a big battle coming in episode 17. Overall, I really wasn't super impressed with this one. It wasn't really bad per se, I just feel like this is sort of the calm before the storm of whatever's gonna happen in the next episode. The Gendarmerie Force was a letdown, though I'm kind of glad that they didn't just try to copy the Ginyu Force exactly as they were presented. Degesu betraying Gomah for his own plan is interesting, but that plan doesn't really get off the ground, and they take him down pretty easy and save Dende all in one fell swoop. Gomah has been mostly annoying and has just sat around most of this show, so now that he actually does have this ultimate power, I'm curious to see as to how he's going to wield it. I'm really interested though in how this confrontation between Arensu and Goku is going to go, because remember, Glorio is secretly working for her. What do you guys think? I want to hear from all 3 of the hardcore Gendarmerie fans out there. Let me know how you felt about the way their fight was handled. Thanks for watching this video, I really appreciate it. If you want to support my channel, then be sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Now, I'm gonna go ask Tien if his third eye came from the demon realm too, because if it did, then this dude's been holding back the entire series.